This is Aubrey from the So Wizard podcast, and you're listening to the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network.
Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people. Right. You want people to care. You want to strike emotions. And I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one.
Quarter pounder with cheese and France, Mickey. What? Boy, ale with cheese, Mickey. Yeah. I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice up my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success?
Hey, you're listening to Superhero Speak, and I'm your host, Dave. And this week, boys and girls, we're doing something a little different. With it being Thanksgiving and the holidays, we decided to take this week off, but we didn't want to leave you all alone. So, while we were at New York Comic Con, John and I had spent some time with Joey DiCarlo from So Wizard podcast. And one night, while we were sitting around talking, this was after the first night of the show, we decided to whip out our microphones. Yes, microphones. And have a little conversation. So we recorded this, and I hope you enjoy. Now, forgive us, because you can tell we're a little tired, but without further ado, here is Superhero Speak After Dark.
All right.
This is Superhero Speak After Dark edition.
So, we are doing something we don't normally do. We're in our hotel room after the con.
This is where the magic happens.
And we have Joey DiCarlo from So Wizard with us.
What's going on, guys? Live and direct from the floor of Superhero Speak's hotel room. It's my bed. It's where I live. It's my second night in a row on a hotel floor.
Just remember, I get up at 5:30, so if just make sure your face isn't in my stepping place.
That's about when I go take lunch, so I'll be still awake probably.
So did we have fun today, guys?
Well, yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we got more. We've got interviews that lasted almost an entire normal episode, so it's been crazy, and we've got so many offers for interviews now.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. Like, people we know, and you kind of said that a little bit too. Like, people we know that we've had on our show, we're like, "Oh, where's your mic? Like, come back later and interview me."
Right, yeah. I didn't do anything today for press.
He's such a hard worker.
The scheduling kind of worked out. I had already planned to come today with a group of non-podcasting friends. So when I got the press passes, I was like, okay, I'm going to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Friday, Saturday is going to be work and press days. And Thursday, I'm going with my friends, and I'm going to just enjoy it like a normal show. So today I was just walking around, checking stuff out, getting things done.
So how is it being a civilian where you can actually enjoy something?
It's just like going to New York every year so far. So.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, the listeners might not know, but, you've been trying for 5 years.
Right. Yeah, we have been trying for 5 years to get press, and I wasn't going to apply this year. But my friend Al, who runs Comic Crusaders it's the Undercover Capes podcast network, and he does the Comic Crusaders podcast. He's an awesome dude who works harder than anyone I know at all doing this stuff. He's like, you can get your website pumped up. Just publish 14 articles a day.
Oh,
I'm like,
my.
14? Who has time for? I don't even have time for one article a day.
You know what though? I've heard that from a lot of people. Just keep publishing and publishing.
Yep. No, he's a nutball. He's awesome, and he goes to all these things. He went to San Diego as press. Like, he gets into all these things. He's like, just do it. Just apply. Just apply. I'm like, I can't take the rejection. I can't do it. And he's like, just do it. So I applied, and then 3 weeks later, I get an email. Congratulations, you have been approved. And I almost fucking passed out. I couldn't believe it. And then I told Adam, who does our YouTube, and Mark and Aubrey, my co-hosts, like, just apply, see if you get it. And they all applied and they all got it. So all 4 of us will be here starting tomorrow. So.
But getting a press pass for New York Comic Con is almost like a punishment because the passes themselves are like $45 a piece if you get them per day. Great, you've got a free pass. Now you have to pay $2,000 for a hotel, and you have to be on the floor working 24/7.
Right, and that's something that I've tried to explain to some of our other friends that haven't gone to this con, but maybe have done press at other shows. It's not one of these, okay, here's your press pass, don't bother celebrities, and they don't care. Like,
right.
Talk about us on social media a little bit, or do an episode about what you did at the show, and that's it. Like, New York wants to see coverage. They want, and you're getting emails from press rooms, and you're getting emails from interviews and VIP experiences and blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, like, you're not going to have fun. You're going to, like, work the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trying to get any real interviews.
Right.
I have been chased away by security.
What exactly were you doing?
I took a picture from halfway across one of the large halls.
Yep.
At some of the Doctor Who actors that were there. And
was that at this year?
No, it was 2 years ago
in New York.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago when they had all of them down where the current Artist Alley is.
Okay.
But it was Matt Smith, and I took a picture of him literally from maybe 200 feet away, and I saw the corner of my eye, security, like, perk up and look over at me. And then the guy was walking towards me, and I just, like, packed everything away and walked away. But he was coming for me.
Yeah. Interesting story. Like, so Greg, my friend Greg did 2 images. He did a Matt Smith and a David Tennant Doctor Who pieces. And
your friend Greg, superstar artist Greg Horn.
He's just Greg.
I know. These guys hang out with, like, all the celebrities.
Not yet.
David Tennant saw the picture and was like, and loved it. You know, he was like all excited about it. Apparently Matt Smith was like, did they get permission to do this? And and like was real weird about it. Yeah. I don't like, he seems like a really nice guy in interviews that I've seen. I've never met him.
Some of these guys just have weird hang-ups. You know?
Yeah. So.
Well, you know, con life, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, God, that feels like a wizard show, though, shooing you away from taking pictures.
No.
No, it wasn't Lou Ferrigno. So.
Wizard show. All right. Not going to get into that.
No. Let's get into that.
Get into it.
Yes, you love Wizard World, right?
Well, okay. Remember, like, what was it when I started doing the podcast for the first couple of years? I didn't do any conventions because I was married to somebody who was draining my bank account.
Isn't that just called being married?
Yeah,
no. His ex-wife was nuts.
Oh, okay.
This was bad. But I finally decided, and this was like a year before I got my divorce. It's like I finally decided I'm going to have fun again. I'm going to do what I used to do. And I used to go to conventions, but this was like 15, 20 years ago where the conventions were like, yay, 20 people showed up. And we get to see, like, real actors and talk to them directly. Now, so I went to Wizard World. And the first Wizard World I went to in Philly, there's a red carpet down the middle aisle. The place is like a 3-ring circus. There's things going on everywhere. I thought, this is wonderful. And every year since...
It's gotten smaller and smaller.
It's been halved every year. Literally. I mean, this past year, they even halved it again.
Yeah, they used to take up like mainly most of the whole top floor at the convention center.
Yeah, we used to go every year in the early 2000s, late 90s. It wasn't peak con like it is now. Wasn't like huge cons every week up where we live in the Northeast. So we would drive down to Philly because that was the only close one to us that had comic guests that were worth going to or celebrities. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And this is like 18 years ago. And when we realized it wasn't worth going, we were more excited about eating at the turkey restaurant across the street than we were about going to the con. We were like, okay, it's time. I can have turkey at home somewhere. It's not the same, obviously, because that place rules, but it's definitely not worth the money to go. So
yeah, no. Yeah, but that I see. I know because like the thing was, if you noticed, one year all of a sudden Marvel and DC didn't have booths there,
right?
And they had them every year,
right.
And then like the following year, no publisher was there,
right?
And no real celebrities either. The celebrities started to drift away.
And
a little. I know what happened a little behind the scenes. I know people that work there, and an employee. Like, so when Civil War was coming out, and they had CGC'd a bunch of the books and sent them to Wizard and they said, you can do whatever you want with them. You can use them for promotional materials, whatever. Just, you can't do anything with before X date. And I think that was like the release date or something. Well, one of the employees put them on eBay before that date. And Marvel's like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's when they stopped going to the con.
There's a real pro move there,
Yeah. And they did something that pissed DC off as well. So it was just like, yeah.
I think the last year we went, there was a huge cross-gen booth, not to age myself. But.
So yeah, like, yeah, it's really gone down. And New York is night and day with other conventions around here.
Well, next year we're probably looking at, I'm going back to AwesomeCon.
Good, Joey.
I think you guys should do Terrificon.
Really?
In
yeah,
Connecticut.
It's awesome and it's super comic book focused. So.
Well, the thing about Connecticut is all my family's up there. So
well, there you go. You should come to Terrificon. And I'm friends with Mitch, who runs it, so we'll get you guys in. It won't be a problem. Yeah.
Nice. But another one I want to go to is Keystone. I mean, two was it? This is only its second year.
This year was its second year, yeah.
And they had a dream lineup of all of these celebrities.
They got Tom Holland in, so, but
yeah. Keystone just falls in a really, really bad time for us. We go to Terrificon the beginning of August, and sometimes we do Fan Expo, which is literally the week after or the week before Terrificon. They just flip-flop every year. So that's two cons. Then Mark goes to Dragon Con by himself. That's just that has nothing to do with the podcast, actually. He's been going for years.
I don't think you can talk about what goes on at Dragon Con.
Right, he's just been going for like 10 to 15 years at Dragon Con, and he has a blast and parties for a week. And I'll be at work on my break at like 4:30 in the morning, and he's texting me like, hey, I'm in line to go to a rave. And I'm like, when does the rave start? He's like, 5 a.m. I'm like, what? I don't understand Dragon Con or what goes on there.
See,
but
you get to my age, and that's like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. See, I want to go at least once just to say I experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's expensive. And then, those three things happen. Then we're rolling right into New York. Then we're rolling right into Rhode Island. And it's just, I can't add more to the schedule. I can't.
And we have day jobs, too.
Yeah.
Like,
I work two jobs. I work third shift doing physical labor, and I work a second job at the mall doing retail. That helps me go to things like this. So.
Well, it's nice that you've supplemented your income with podcasting about books.
Right. That's right. Supplemented my income.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, drained your income. That's what
Our Patreon pays for our hosting, and it paid for our hotel room tomorrow night, so I can't complain, but we're not exactly rolling in the dough.
No,
we can't do that.
Not yet.
We don't.
Eventually.
6 years, and we still.
See, no one likes us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we brought it to a high art, After 6 years, somebody should have liked us.
Yeah, you can.
So New York Comic Con, yeah.
Yeah. So
I got to meet John Byrne today. That was one of my big things.
Nice.
So, he was signing at the IDW booth. If you bought a $200 art book that he's putting out, which was actually really cool, my friend bought it. He would sign 5 books and the book that you bought. So, and usually he's notorious for being an asshole.
Right.
So I was really worried to begin with. And he's also notorious for not signing old stuff. So he won't sign X-Men or Hulk, Avengers, anything. He just wants to sign his crappy Star Trek Photoshop comics that he's been making. They're like weird, like they cut out a picture of like Star Trek characters and like paste them on backgrounds and make new stories out of it. I mean, God bless the guy. He's like a living legend, but like it's shit. So but yeah, he's notorious for that. But he would sign anything as long as you bought that book. He would sign 5 things. So my friend was like, I'm going to do it. First he was like, I'm going to do it. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, look, how long is this dude going to be around? He's older.
Yeah.
He doesn't do shows. It's not like we're talking about like somebody we see at every con in the Northeast all the time.
Yeah.
It's not somebody like that. So I was like, just fucking do it. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I was like, I'll give you $20 so I can get one of the books signed. So I got my book signed. I was nervous because we both wanted Incredible Hulk 316 signed, which is where the Hulk fights the Wonder Man, Iron Man, Namor, and Hercules.
Right.
It's my favorite single issue of a comic book of all time, and I wanted it signed. And he did too, so I'm like, fuck. Because like, he's a jerk. So I'm like, what if he won't sign 2 of the same book? And so I brought a second book just to be safe in case he was like, I'm not signing that twice. But then we got up to the table and the dude was cool as hell. You know, he talked to us for a few minutes. I get to tell him like a couple things, like we both told him how much we love that issue of Hulk. And I told him the truth, which is that he was the first artist that I knew their name. Like as a kid, like I just buy comics off the rack, but that was the first artist I was like, that guy is awesome. And whatever he's moving to, because the only way you would know was reading Marvel Age or like bullpen bulletins.
Yes.
So he used to draw Alpha Flight, and I was reading that because he was awesome. And then when he left, it sucked, and he went to Hulk, so I jumped to Hulk. Like this is one of the first artists I ever followed. So I was telling him that, and he seemed flattered by me and Derek like tongue lashing his balls for 5 minutes. So he signed our books, and he was cool. You know, he was taking pictures of people, but it was awkward because he wasn't getting out from behind the table. And I didn't want to bother the guy. He's old, and he liked to. It's fine. Let's just go. We had a good experience. Let's not ruin it. So
right.
But that was my main goal for the day, was to accomplish that. So
yeah,
it was just tough because they were like, okay, the signing's at 1:00. We're like, all right. So we headed over there. It was like 12:50, and they're like, the line's capped. I'm like, what do you mean the line's capped?
Right. If you
like,
haven't started yet.
The girl's like, no, you can come back at 5:00 for the next signing. I'm like, 5:00? Like, what is he doing? Like, this is all he's doing for the day is signing these books. So why can't he just fucking sign it? You know, we're not going to be rude or anything, and I got to be extra nice because I got a press pass so I don't get thrown out. But so we went down to Artist Alley, we did some other things, and then it was like 3:50, and Derek's like, let's just go up there and make sure. So we get up there, we get in line, and then maybe like 10, 15 minutes after we got there, they capped the line. And it was like 4:20.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
And they had told us to come back at 5. And if
you'd gone back at 5.
Yeah, if we went back, we wouldn't have got it signed. And those guys were only here today. They're not coming back tomorrow. I would have been in line tomorrow getting the stuff signed on my own. So that was one thing today that I don't know if you guys noticed it, but it felt way busier than a regular Thursday.
Everybody I talked to said, I mean, the biggest excuse for today is usually all of the con exclusives.
Right.
Right. Everybody's here to get the con exclusives.
I stay the hell away from that stuff, but
yeah, Funko and all that. But
yeah, I never buy con exclusives.
But even with that, it felt like, you know, again, I've only been going here 3 years now.
Yeah.
We've only been going here 3 years.
No, I've been coming much longer, not as press, but I've been coming much longer.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but even all right. So to me, today felt like a Saturday from 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
We always try to make Thursday part of our trip when we go because it's the quieter day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not now.
If there can be a quiet day when it's a con that 250,000 plus people attend, but it's the quieter day. You know, people are at work.
Right.
You know, it's not crazy. So we can go in and when we can walk it up and down the aisles, we can visit the booths. We can go do the interactive experiences or get autographs or stuff. Then tomorrow it's a little crazier. And then Saturday we just avoid altogether, you know, but today was busy. We were down Artist Alley and it felt like it was 1,000 degrees. And there was just wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
You couldn't even browse or enjoy
you couldn't
yourself.
move through the main aisle.
Yeah, it was
center
nuts.
aisle.
Yeah, when Artist Alley is that busy on a Thursday, it's a busy con.
Right. I mean, I was happy for the artists and stuff because they were selling shit
and they were. I talked to a few of them. They were all happy.
I was talking to our friend Adam Walenta, who does Punk Taco, and while we were talking to him, like people were walking up and buying his book, which is great for him. But like, it's just like this is crazy.
The Stabby Bunny guys it's their first time in Artist Alley.
Yes.
And they were saying that a lot of people they were surprised at the number of people down there that were also looking for comics in Artist Alley or were willing to buy comics in Artist Alley. So yeah, it's and of course Dirk was hand over hand. Kaylin always had people at her table and all the people
they have them separated this year.
Yeah,
Kaylin and Dirk.
Well, Kaylin said that it was in her contract that
okay.
she shouldn't be near him. I told her that's not a contract, that's a restraining order. She said, well, potato. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was nuts. I can't imagine what the next 2 days are going to be like.
It's going to lighten up tomorrow, I think. And then Saturday. Look, it's a good thing you avoid it. I have gotten trapped in people jams in the back of the main.
Worst.
And the sad thing is, I always get trapped right next to this guy who dresses up as the Mad Hatter and is standing on a stool, so he's like 6 feet in the air and just dancing, just wiggling and dancing. I got stuck one year just staring at it for 5 minutes. We became friends.
Yeah, I'm a huge supporter of cosplayers, obviously, and not just. Jokingly enough, my daughter calls them big booby cosplayers that I follow on Instagram or get pictures with at the shows. I love cosplayers. I think they bring a huge amount of stuff to the show. Love it. But I think you have to use your brain.
Well, this guy wasn't a cosplayer.
He was just a guy on a stairs.
No. He's on.
It's a place that sells
the Mad Hatter.
I know what you're talking about.
To promote it.
That's obnoxious. But even then, like last year, it was nuts on Friday, and there was somebody's cosplay was like a giant horse. They were like a centaur or something, and like their cosplay took up the whole fucking aisle. It's like, dude, this isn't the show for that. Okay, like
when they would have Artist Alley out in the annex, and you'd have these people with these like big costumes with like wings and stuff, and they're like blocking the doorway to get to Artist Alley.
You mean the 2 years ago when it was in the really small room, or
no? Like there used to be an annex off the building.
Where the first year I was here,
right?
Yeah.
I actually liked when it was over there. That was
I mean, it was there for a long time until they tore it down, but.
But they're building it up again, so it'll probably be back over there.
Just like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing on cosplayers, but man, just use your brain.
Yeah.
You can't fucking move in these aisles, and now you're walking down there with a full Hawkman costume with wingspan of the entire aisle. Like
usually they have handlers if they've got that much, if they're professional. If they're not,
they're usually not.
And then you got the guys who do like the giant Transformers costumes.
Right.
Well, those are they have to be sanctioned or something.
A lot of them, the bigger outfits and stuff are smart enough to stay outside in the main hall.
Yeah.
But then you do get the people that are in there and they're just in the way. Like, get out of the way.
They had a 10-foot bear out there today. just a bear. I don't know if it was.
It was a real bear. It was actually eating people.
Yeah.
It's the only way to control the crowd.
All right.
Well,
I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
We're all going to cuddle. Oh, wait, no.
Will you stop with that, please? Making me nervous.
All right, Joey, how do you measure success?
Oh, God.
With a big ruler.
Oh, my God. That's the second time we heard that joke today.
I have no idea. I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, we when we interviewed Duick, that's how he answered it. And then he's like, oh, no, seriously, this is how I do it. But he said with a big ruler.
Oh, are you seriously asking me how I measure my own success?
Well, a ruler is a valid option.
Yeah. Yardstick? I don't know.
Yardstick.
That's how we end all our interviews. Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Being able to go to bed and get up tomorrow.
Yeah. I can make it through the next 2 days after sleeping on the floor of hotel rooms for 4 days straight. No cushions.
That's valid.
All right.
There.
Turn it off now.
All right.
God bless you guys.
See ya. Bye, guys.
All right. Like I said, something a little different. You could tell it was a long day at the convention, but I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, we will be back next week with a full episode with lots of fun conversation for you. And if you're not already doing it, please don't forget to check out the Geek World All-Stars on Twitter and, of course, all their great podcasts. We have the Pop Prism Power Podcast, So Wizard, Superhero Speak, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, Cult 45, and Fans on Patrol. All really great shows, all really great guys and gals, and you should be listening to their shows. So, that's my recommendation for the week. Go check out those other shows, and until next week, as always, thanks for listening, and don't let your cape get caught in the door. Have a good week.